Yeah, we are live on YouTube. Yeah, that's nice. No. So, guys on YouTube, nobody yet. Good morning and welcome. Like I said, the United States military conducted an operation that killed the head of the Iranian Republican Guard in Iraq. As you know, since the Americans went into Iraq in search of a weapon of mass destruction, which they said Saddam Hussein possessed as at then, which they haven't found till this day. And not a single person. Hold on, guys. Don't mix with Igbo. Speak all English. No, this one is English. Not a single person has gone to jail. Not Colin Powell, not Dick Cheney, not George Bush. Not a single person, not Tony Blair. Not any of them that lied the whole world into that war. A single one of them is not facing any indictment by the International Criminal Court. So for the dummies, for the idiots online that don't know what they are talking about, some are already challenging me on Facebook over this. They've not checked the background as to how America is still in Iraq. How they are still in Iraq, that they feel emboldened enough to attack, to kill a diplomat of an independent country, of a sovereign country, who was in another country on the invitation of that country. One, the sovereignty of Iraq has been, has been violated. Do you know how many UN charters, how many laws that were broken in the UN Charter? How many articles of the UN Charter was broken just in that single act alone? I don't want to go back into 2003. No, Saddam is gone. Who, by the way, was a CIA asset. He was a CIA man. They installed him. They removed the Hashemite king of Iraq and installed him as a puppet. He only became an enemy when he refused to go with the bidding of the USA and Saudi Arabia. Then he became a threat to Israel. For that reason, they had to invade Iraq. Just remember that was why they went to Iraq. Forget anything they are telling you. Please go and read this document, Project for a New American Century. Go and read that document, study that document. You will see how many countries they mapped out for destruction in that place. It was written by the neocons. Project for a New American Century. Go and read it. PNAC. So whatever you see going on between them and Iran started far, far, far before now. In fact, this war with Iran has not stopped since the Greeks and the Iranians and the Persians started fighting each other. For all these bozos online that sound like the same idiots on the mainstream media. People that don't even know how this conflict started and for what purpose this fight is going on. They have zero idea. They don't know what's happening. Not a scintilla of idea of what's going on there. One has already started challenging me. Austin, Chika Austin, the IPOB guy. They don't know anything, but because they've been brainwashed and programmed to believe whatever nonsense they are feeding them, they are going ahead with the nonsense the media is telling them. How the hell do you think they will tell you the truth that is going to expose the people that own them? There is a reason Raytheon, Boeing, General Dynamics, all these military contractors, there is a Lockheed Martin. There is a reason they advertise Brzezinski, cold. Ashanfi, you are correct. That name you gave alone, just that name you called, The daughter is giving you news on MSNBC, Morning Joe. I call it Morning Joke. Tune in to MSNBC this morning. The co-presenter of Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, is the daughter of this person. Are you people hearing? Listen, guys, this is a war they planned for a long time. They planned this war for a long time. And you will not understand the problem between the West and the current day Iran as a country, not Persia right now. If you don't know about Mossadegh in the 1958, go and check since when the CIA and the Western corporations, the French military intelligence, all of them, go and check for how long they've been trying to overthrow a government of Iran that would not give them access to their mineral resources. That is why this thing is happening. And it has the potential of taking the world to a global war, World War III. For those of you who don't know, as this thing is happening, the Russian Navy and the Chinese Navy are on the Persian Gulf, are at the Persian Gulf right now. They are the Persian Gulf. They are in Iran conducting a military drill with the Iranian military. This is what you are not hearing in the media. For the dummies that don't know what they are talking about, that don't know anything, you already know the newspapers and the TV houses are liars. Now, why don't you think they're lying to you on this one too? Guys on YouTube, why your Lord? Welcome. Why would you think they're not lying to you now? Why? Why would you even think that? Now, please, I don't want to talk about that war. We'll talk about that war later in the evening. But let me just focus on the topic I want to treat today. Africans. Imagine if Africans are sovereign. African countries are sovereign, that they own themselves. Imagine where you have someone in the likes of Lumumba in Congo, someone like Kenyatta, not the discount, not the cheap poor man's Kenyatta that is ruling Kenya now. I mean the father. In Kenya, you have a revolutionary leader like Thomas Sankara in Burkina Faso. In Ghana, I have lost a lot of them we can choose from. But let's go with J.J. Rawlings. Or Kwame Nkrumah. You have Kwame in Ghana. And in Nigeria, let's say you have Yar'Adua or so what, whether you like him or not, Abacha, that can stand and tell these people, oh, there is war in the Middle East. Okay, Iran is not pumping oil. Iraq has problem. They have a protest, and there is fear in the global energy market. And this energy that drives everything. You know what? This my oil, I'm not selling. I'm not selling. As the seller, you're the one who's supposed to fix the price, right? But for the fact that you're not fixing it, shows you are not the owner. We can withhold it. I am not selling. A barrel of crude, I will tell you that given the current dollar rate, I'm selling a barrel of crude at 160, 170. At least. At the time, it was 110, 120. What was the dollar rate then? In Naira, in Nigeria, it's 1.5, 1.4. Now, dollar rate is 3 something. Is it not supposed to be like 350 per barrel? That is why your country is broke. That is why you're broke. The only thing you focus on, we are not talking about other mineral wealth, the oil alone. They've devalued your currency and made you pump more. And there is a war. As a businessman, what would you do? Oh, I'm not selling. When you cut out the Iraqi supply, the Iranian supply, and with the disturbances you will be having, along that Persian Gulf and that region. Nigeria is, you go straight from Nigeria, you can go straight to America through the Atlantic. Straight. It's gone up by 6%. Not just 6% is nothing. 6% is nothing. 6% is nothing. You would tell them, yeah, how much loan did you give me? How much loan did you just give me? Okay, now my oil is so amount. How much are you pumping? Ready to pump. Now take it from the money. Because even the loan is a scam, it's a sham. You don't even own your resources anymore. Your ruling class and the Western corporations own them. And these African rulers are dummies. They are very, very dumb. They are stupid. They are worshiping the people who should be genuflecting at their feet. People who should be bowing down to them, who should be kneeling down to them. The cost of everything in Europe and America should go high. But it won't, because they control every damn thing. You have leaders who are stupid. We've dropped the ball at the First World War and the Second World War. When Europe was mired in war, Africa should have stayed the hell out of it. They should have stayed the hell out of it. Then stop pumping the oil, but you couldn't have done it then. Physically, they were still ruling you under their empire. The empire is gone physically, but systematically it's still there because you are still operating on the system they gave you. They still control your currency. They still control everything about you. So you've been very naughty. I'm going to spank your bottle until it's tomato red. Who is that person? Who is doing that on YouTube? I don't know who you are, but thank you for coming. Thank you for dropping by. We could have dropped the ball on them. Drop the hammer. We should seize the initiative. You really don't need to beg them. You really don't need to. What are they going to give you? Paper money. That paper money is a scam. Tell them you are not dealing in it, you are dealing in your own currency. Then there will be demand for your currency. That way it goes high. But you can't do it. Why are they fighting in Iraq? Why are they fighting Iranians? Go and check all the countries that are at war footing with America. There is one thing they all have in common. The US, the Wall Street bankers are not in control of their currency. They don't have a central banking system. And their natural resources are not controlled by those Western corporations. Go and check it. North Korea, Venezuela, Iran, Syria, Russia, China. The only reason they weren't going to war with China was because all their factories, manufacturing has moved to China. If they cut every trade deal with China, there will be shortage of goods and services in their place. In the West, in Europe, why do you think they are protesting in France? The factories have all closed. They've all closed and shipped to China. The people who are supposed to be working in the factories manufacturing clothes are now working as sales representatives. Versace, if you are living in Italy, all those Italian designers, how many of their factories are still working, and at what capacity are they functioning? Now, how many Versace products are sold around the world? Where do you think they move to those factories? That's why they can't go to war with China. But they could have built those things in your place. Most of the resources, all these hides and skin China is buying in Nigeria, what do you think they are using it for? Who do you think they are using it to produce for? Yeah, those people. And the companies, as long as you're in China, the Communist Party has 50%, you have 50%. 50-50 with the Communist Party, everything. Now, Africans, couldn't we have, like kind of say, if we are going to place a ban on anything, we place a ban on all those hides and skins. What would happen then? Those factories, those European factories will be moved from China, from Europe to where? Africa, and it will be cheaper for them too. If they are paying a Chinese worker who is working for them there, like the ones that manufacture these designer products, if they're paying them $2,000 a week, that $2,000 will pay for someone a month in Nigeria. That's 700 and something thousand. I'll call it 700K. A month they'll be paying someone who is working in a garment shop. But they won't do it. And your people can't press them on it because your leaders don't own themselves. Your leaders don't own themselves. If they did, the Westerners would be begging them. All these wars they are causing should have been an opportunity Africa will use and build a China. Look at China as the West were going to war in Yugoslavia, Kosovo, all those places. China was busy building. By the time Europeans knew what was happening, their factories have all gone. And the Chinese, they don't even care now if you move your factory. How many people do you have to sell? They have billions of people to sell to. That's why I tell you, population is not a cause. High population is not a cause. It's only a cause when you don't have a functional leadership. Please, guys, use this moment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I pinned it on the comment, it's at the pinned comment there. Click on it. It's ACB Live. Please help me go there and subscribe. If you can do it now, do it, or just do it at the end of the program. So back to what we were saying. Everything it takes to make Africa great is within reach. It's within our grasp. It's within reach. No savior is going to come from the sky and do it. Nobody will do it for us. We have to do it ourselves with our own hands. Our diplomats are dumb idiots. And the Westerners love them. Check your diplomats. Who are your diplomats? Former civil servants. What do they know? Who are the people ruling you? Former civil servants, former military guys. What does a civil servant know? Businessmen are not in government. Scientists, good experts. Experts. Please let me take a moment and share this my YouTube video on Facebook. Sorry guys, one moment. Let me share it on Facebook. Please subscribe. Hold on, guys. So civil servants are not the best people to represent your interests abroad because they don't know anything. See, we are seeing them here. When they come here, this is how they're looking. The idiot that came on a mission, on a diplomatic trip, will be moving from one shopping mall to another shopping mall. Looking, anytime you see them, they see you, they are not going to tell you, oh, this is what I came to do here. What do you know about this? What do you know about that? They don't talk about that. It's a man where I think get babe. Find me, babe. Man, I need a girl I will sleep with, this and that. That's the only thing. And you find out they are wowed by the cities there. We are looking at them, you find out that these people can't even find their feet on the ground. Now, how do you expect those people to be representing you the way they should? They can't. They don't know what to do. And because most African leaders have committed many crimes, they've committed many crimes. That is a reason they allow them to slaughter people and massacre them. They will massacre the whole population. Let me tell you, if Buhari opens his mouth now and say Western corporations go home, he will be indicted by the International Criminal Court the next minute. That is if there is no military coup in Nigeria. If the military didn't remove him, in ICC will indict him. They will come to Nigeria and arrest him. Unless he's going to go to all out war with them. In that case, they will come and arm IPOB and tell them we are giving you independence in exchange for the same thing we are taking from Nigeria. And they will not give it to you when you will enjoy it. They will let both sides go to war. They will arm you well enough, and that war, both sides, this one will not win, that one will not win. At the end of the war, both of you will weaken each other. Then they will come and still take your resources at a cheaper rate. That is how it's done. Nothing they are doing is hidden. You just need to pay attention. You just need to pay attention. There is nothing sophisticated about them. It's because poverty don't allow us to read, to have time to study, to have time to look into things. Then our media are owned by morons. Your newscasters are not people who know what they are doing. They are just there because they study journalism. How can you study journalism, please, in this day and age? Go and check other places. You see journalists, they are lawyers, doctors, former bankers, and all of them. The bankers will be giving you financial news. Sorry. Who are the experts you see on TV? Graduate of political this thing, author of so this thing. You look at him, graduate of political science. What does that even mean? What do you know about geopolitics? They can barely tell you a thing about the Federal Reserve. They don't know anything, yet they are the people our own people will go to for information. How is someone going to give you what he doesn't have? That's why we are, believe me, many African leaders can do this, but when they do it, they will have a civil war in their country tomorrow. And they will be indicted for war crimes at the end of the day. Lohe Babo, Charles Taylor, which I don't like. I'm not a fan of their politics, but I'm telling you the system they are using. It has not changed. It has not changed, and they will keep you doing it as long as people keep falling for it. Imagine if your AIT, I'm using Nigeria as an example. AIT, Silverbird, all these people, they are telling you the truth. They won't tell you why, because it is going to negatively affect their masters, the people who own them, the people who pay for them, who pay their salaries, and the people who advertise on their shows. The people who advertise on their shows. We are living under a global oligarchy. Believe me. Mazi, Africans never get it. Yes, because they won't allow people who know what they are doing to get anywhere near power. So, guys, as you listen to that nonsense they are blabbing, do not pay attention. CNN is not a news source. Sorry, guys. CNN is not a news source. Neither is MSNBC. Even Fox News, they are all warmongers. Those networks are owned by 6 corporations. Even MSNBC is owned by General Electric, a defense contractor. A defense contractor. Do not buy what they're saying. See, later this afternoon, I will do this exclusively on YouTube. I will do a video on this nonsense. I will do a video on it. I will do a video to analyze all this in this war with Iran. I will do a video on YouTube. 2 p.m. Nigerian time. 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. Nigerian time, I will do a video about it on YouTube and talk more on it. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you've subscribed already, turn on the notification bell so they'll give you the notification when I come on. So you will be better informed. Don't buy what they are telling you. The people you see on NTA, on even AIT and co, they don't know anything. I've met them. I've had conversations with them. They are empty. Some of them, most of them are not doing it because they are paid to do it. They don't know anything. They are doing copy and paste from Reuters and AP. Go and check the foreign news they are giving you. Go to AP, Associated Press and Reuters news agency. You will still find it. You will still find it there. Same thing, verbatim. Even your newspapers, go and check. So why would you go to NTA News or all these people, AIT and co, to read foreign news when you can use your phone and type it on Reuters? So why go there to be brainwashed more? Why do that? Why put yourself under such a condition, under such stress? Why go through it? That's a time you could have used to do research or do any other things that will better your life. Go watch Tucker Carlson. Go watch Tucker Carlson. Wait, let me play that interview. One Tucker Carlson's interview. Hold on.
If you manage a team, you...
Please let me play this video. Hold on. Let me play Tucker Carlson's video. I should have done this. I didn't know I would use that video. If not, I should have put it up before now. Guys, please just give me a moment. Let me go. We'll pause this and skip. Guys, 1 minute. I just want you to hear. Tucker Carlson on Fox News is the only person covering this thing fairly. Covering it fairly, and is covering it from the point of an American patriot.
So tonight, last weekend is...
Hold on. Let me skip to where he started. Just pay attention to the things he's saying. 1 minute. Guys on YouTube, let me play. Guys on Facebook, just watch it. Guys on YouTube, you know, YouTube, even if I want to play it, even if I want you to see it, I can't. YouTube will just give me a strike. They will delete this thing. Let me play the video now.
Virginia and West Virginia, you know, here's some, but they can't because they don't like those people.
I think that showing that you have...
Let me skip to this place.
They're heating up very quickly without any debate here in Washington. Iraqi television has just confirmed that Qasem Soleimani, former general in Iran's Revolutionary Guard and the commander of the Quds Force, has been killed in a rocket attack, apparently initiated by the United States, near the Baghdad airport, along with a top official in the Iraqi Shiite militia. Now, what were they doing in Iraq? Unclear. But his death comes several days after tensions kind of came out into the open in that country. Last week, if you've been following this, you know, an American civilian contractor was killed by militants in Iraq. The U.S. government blamed that attack on Iran, and it retaliated with strikes. In response, protesters blockaded the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. It's basically where we were when the show started tonight. Defense Secretary Mark Esper warned that the United States is prepared to launch additional preemptive military strikes against Iranian interests in the region, which apparently are what we are seeing right now. Now, again, there's been virtually no debate or even discussion about this, but America appears to be lumbering toward a new Middle East war. And we have to say it's one that official Washington has wanted for decades. For example,
Yes.
disgraced National Security Advisor John Bolton has made it his life's mission to start a war with Iran. And tonight, Bolton may be finally getting his wish. Should you be happy about that? That's the question. Well, the last time we took John Bolton's advice in the region, Iran became far more powerful than it was before we took John Bolton's advice. Why? Because things are never quite as simple as they claim they are in Washington. In this case, the very people demanding action against Iran tonight, the ones telling you the Persian menace is the greatest threat we face, are the very same ones demanding that you ignore the invasion of America now in progress from the South. The millions, the tens of millions of foreign nationals living among us illegally, the torrent, more significantly, of Mexican narcotics that has killed and disabled entire generations of Americans. Nobody cares, in case you haven't noticed. Pay no attention to all of that. These very same people tell us the real threat is Iran. Well, they're liars. They don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They're reckless and incompetent. And you should keep all of that in mind as war with Iran looms closer tonight. Kurt Mills is a senior writer at the American Conservative. He joins us now.
Just pay attention
So, Kurt,
to this
this is
smart kid.
unfolding even as we speak. Where could it go from here?
Well, like you said, if you liked the Iraq War, Tucker, we're back with the sequel, the Iran War. I would say the deep concern is, look, a general in the Iranian forces being assassinated is not necessarily something to mourn or begrudge the U.S. getting involved in.
That's right.
The question is, though, is this a Franz Ferdinand moment? Is this a situation where a great power gets involved with a middle tier power and gets the world into a world war? Iran, I think, is a problem for the U.S. and its allies in the region, but it is not an existential threat like China or Russia. China or Russia, particularly China, would love to see another decade or two of Americans my age dying in the sand for no particular purpose.
Well, that's exactly it. It's not that anyone, I think, in the United States has particular affection for Iran or trusts its government, much less it's the Revolutionary Guard or the Quds forces. Of course not. But it's the intemperance with which the foreign policy establishment in Washington describes the threat that I think makes sensible people nervous, that Iran is the greatest threat we face. I mean, it's so prima facie absurd that it makes you wonder what their actual agenda is.
It's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, I think the real question is, why do we still have troops there? So you see the Baghdad embassy protests. And to be clear, this is not just an embassy. This is a fortress. It's been a fortress since we took out Saddam in 2003. And American troops there, if we're not going to re-annex the country, are effectively hostages. They're sent there. So the question, the president, who I think rightfully ran in 2016 against the Bush legacy, the question is, does he want to re-invade Iraq? I understand there are people in his cabinet that are selling him that Iran is not Iraq. But the fact of the matter is, Iran is quite similar to Iraq. We're talking about Iraq. 16 years later, it's still Iraq. In order to counter Iran, I think the choice is clear. The president should contain Iranian influence in the region, but should avoid a hot war, which we are barreling towards at all costs.
So my sense of it is the president doesn't seek war, and he's wary of it, particularly in an election year. But I think he was elected on the promise that he would avoid wars except when absolutely necessary. But there are a lot of people around him, and certainly in the city of Washington, who've been preparing for this, agitating for it. Bolton's one of many for an awfully long time. And you wonder if it's possible that he might be outmaneuvered by them, and that we might find ourselves moving toward war despite what the president wants.
Right. So I think the president of the United States' convictions on this matter are sincere, but I think it's relevant, particularly extremely relevant in matters of war and peace and life and death, who he staffed his administration with. I know Bolton is a bugbear for you, but in some ways, Bolton, because he's so flamboyant and so infamous and notorious, he actually was a bit of a problem for the Iran Hawk crusade. More middleweight, more circumspect managers like Robert C. O'Brien, the Bolton's successor, might actually be more effective at Trojan horsing what I think would be a tragedy in the Middle East. Iran is not Iraq. It's twice as big. It'd be twice as bad. We're weaker than we were 16 years ago. If President George W. Bush struggled to win re-election in 2004, if Trump does this, he's cooked.
I think that's right. Kurt Mills, great to see you tonight. Thank you for that.
So, guys, as you can see, like I told you, they are talking from the perspective of an American patriot that is tired of seeing his countrymen and women going to die in senseless wars in the Middle East. Just so Shell, ExxonMobil, and co will take the oil and the natural gas that are in that region and every other mineral resources, including gold. The same thing they're doing in Africa. The same thing, the same people. So now, do you see why I'm incensed when I see people who think they know anything, who most people follow for news, for alternative news, repeat the same nonsense you read on CNN, on Associated Press, and all these war-mongering news outlets. Washington Post is a joke. The New York Times is a joke. It's pathetic. I'm talking about someone like Chika Austin. The same people that are putting the Buhari you hate in government are the same people doing this thing in Iraq and want to draw Iran into a war. To the extent that they've gone and assassinated a military chief of a sovereign nation. The same thing they did when they assassinated a Russian diplomat here in Turkey. Well, that one backfired badly. It backfired on them badly because it brought Russia and Turkey together. Now this one is going to bring Iran and Iraq together. Watch the type of protest that will happen there now. Watch within the next 24 hours. Pay attention. If you are on Twitter, please just go to a trending session and type in Iraq. Within the next 24 hours, you will see a protest. A massive protest. And they can't turn Iraq to another Yemen. People have learned from the Yemenis and the stupidity of their own people. Iraqis have been fooled severally. They are now wiser. When they tell you Iranian-backed militia, you know these are Iraqi citizens protesting against the U.S. military. Donald Trump has wanted to put the American troops ever since he was elected. The war hawks are around him, the warmongers, the Washington swamp dwellers want to continue it. This didn't start today. It's as old as the European invasion of Africa. All these things they are telling you about, the wars, religious wars they fought, all those things had nothing to do with religion. It was about trade and commerce. When the Arabs defeated the Europeans and took over Spain and many places, even they went to France. They fought war literally in Tours, in France. They were at the gates of Vienna. All those periods, people were there. Say, it has always been about commerce, about control, about power, about the control of the resources of the earth. And now we know this, African leaders, what the hell are you people doing? Why are you silent? Why are you sleeping? Tie all those advisors, all those so-called experts you pay millions to, tie them on a rocket and shoot them straight into the desert. Run them all up, drop them in the middle of Sahara Desert. In fact, drop them from the air. No water, no food. Leave those guys there. They need to, their ignorance is deadlier than a nuclear weapon. Because their stupidity is costing lives. It's costing us our freedom, both economic and political freedom. This is an opportunity we will use and renegotiate deals with these people. Oh, there is a war there. Now I am putting a ban on the exploration of oil. If you can't buy it, at $250 per barrel, I'm not selling. Yeah, I'm not selling. Why are they doing all that? Because they don't want another financial system to come up. If any independent financial system comes up, it will destroy their system. Why? Because people will let the two grow. Let's see who fails and who succeeds. This is manipulated. It won't stand. They don't want people to know that there is an alternative way to trade other than the US dollars. I'm sure I've said it times without number that the only thing that backs the US dollar is the US military. That they killed a contractor. When they say a civilian contractor, see what they mean. They've privatized their wars. What Blackwater is not out of business. They renamed themselves and they are back. These are the people they see. If you want, I can link you with people that will no, in Africa right now, they will just send you to Boko Haram. But in the West, they recruit people to go and fight that place as civilian contractors. In fact, many members of the US Special Forces are just resigning. They're all putting their resignation letter to go and fight as civilian contractors because it's money. They paid them money, huge money. They are more armed than the US military. Better equipped, I'm telling you. Now they are using the death of a contractor that has been killing Iraqis. Now, when these people fire back, they will not send the US military that they killed US contractor. What is that contractor doing there? People don't want you in their country. See, I don't know if I'm sounding confusing to people. You know, I'm just moving both sides and swinging both ways. Yeah. But I'm trying to link everything together. They tried it with North Korea. Kim Jong-un didn't take the bait. Do you remember when they said that the North Korean leader killed his brother? That three girls killed his brother in Thailand. I guess they didn't also tell you that those girls all walked. Those people had no idea what was happening. And how are you sure that the guy died? Actually, they said they put a handkerchief over his nose. Those girls walked. They said someone approached them at the airport and said that they are shooting a commercial, making a viral video. Please go and put this in on this man's nose. When you put it, that man will slump. Then you walk away. Go and watch the video again. They said they thought they were participating in an advert. Go and check it. They wanted to draw North Korea into a war, but they couldn't. That's why they want to draw these people into imagine if they assassinated a North Korean diplomat in South Korea. Believe me, they will pump bullets, they will pump missiles and Seoul. They will sink Seoul. They want to draw Iran into a war with Iraq. It's not possible. These guys are dumb. They are not smart. If they were smart, they wouldn't be using war. What happens when people have run out of ideas? Now you have to use arm twisting. What happens because diplomacy failed? And what makes diplomacy fail is because one side wants to cheat the other. If I don't get a fair, then if I don't get a fair deal, why don't you stay on your own and I stay on my own? It can't happen. Because you will create a system that is better than theirs. Their own people who want to copy it. Now their people say, so we've been under enslavement. That is exactly what they are trying to avoid. The rise of a new system. The Chinese have created a new monetary system, a new financial system that with Russians. Already the dollar, I'm telling you, the dollar at the current rate is not sustainable. And the world will not go to a world war that easily. It will be proxy wars, by proxy, which they've been fighting since the 70s. Since the 70s. So, my people, always be at alert. Don't buy the nonsense they are selling. The media will not tell you the truth. And all these guys that are just doing it because this one is Israel. All this one Middle East is for Israel to keep occupying people's land. In case you don't know, let's say if they are going to shut down this YouTube channel, let them do it. Do you think if Africa is fighting and these people are the ones supplying oil, that they won't hike the price? Are you kidding me? My people, so thank you for joining me this early morning. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll come and talk about this war in details this afternoon, 2 p.m. Nigerian time, exclusively on YouTube. I'll do it on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. So I'll help build it. I just want to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I'll be able to do certain things and be able to, get them to make the video go viral. Facebook is not gonna allow us to do lots and lots of things. It's easy to take down a Facebook account, but on YouTube, if you, as long as you abide by their policy, nothing is going to happen. Please help me subscribe to my YouTube channel. SBL Live is on the comment section. Or you go to my wall at the end of this video. I share this video on YouTube. You can use the link and get in there and share. Please let me show you this thing anyway. Please. Let me show you my YouTube channel here. See the YouTube channel. Just type in SBL Live. Type in this SBL Live. ESIBE. Please, it's just only 586 subscribers. Even if you are not using YouTube, just subscribe. And the subscription is free. Just click subscribe. Let it register. Even if you are not watching on YouTube, please. At least out of the 71 people watching live now, the hundreds of people that will watch later, if you all can help me do this, it will get to that 1,000. It's very easy. You just have to take the initiative. Don't say others will do it or maybe I'll do later. Please help me. If you like the message and you want this to continue, this is one contribution I need from you. Go and subscribe there. So I appreciate you all for joining me this morning. I hope to see you soon. Later this afternoon, 2 p.m. Nigerian time, we'll come here and analyze things. Guys on YouTube, thank you for joining me. Best Sonny, One Lord, thank you. LOL, Lady B, Happy Beaver. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. See you, and I wish you the best of the day. Bye. Guys on YouTube, what's up? Thanks for joining me. It's not easy. I appreciate you all in a special way. I appreciate the guys on Facebook anyway, but we've already built that one. And thank you all for your this thing. The world depends on the US dollar. Yes, it's the petrodollar. Happy Beaver. It's the petrodollar. The petrodollar is the problem. It's the petrodollar. It's the petrodollar. To save the petrodollar, why did they invade Iraq in the first time? Because Saddam was going to dump the US dollar. He was going to dump the US dollar. That's it. That was why it happened. All these countries that America is on war footing with those, none of them uses the US dollar as their trading currency. The Chinese are doing it, but the Chinese are manipulating them because most of American factories are now in China. They are now in China. And calmly and gradually, China built themselves up, built their military and everything. Now they are in control of everything. Because even the Western trade representatives and diplomats are dummies, and a lot of them are compromised. They are easily bribed. And a lot of them are under a compromise. What do you think the Jeffrey Epstein case was all about? We are not going to go into that for now. But everything they are doing is to salvage their current financial system, the petrodollar. The whole world sold their freedom when they signed the Bretton Woods Agreement. Guess what? That Bretton Woods, they said that the US dollar will be tied to gold. It's no longer tied to anything because they don't have any gold to back up the number of currencies they've printed, paper they've printed. That's why they want to force you to use it. It's the Federal Reserve. It's the Federal Reserve. So guys, thank you. I'm going to, like I said, 2 p.m. Nigerian time, I'm going to come so we'll discuss more about this senseless war that is brewing. It doesn't lead to a third world war. This is one of the reasons you have economic credit crunch everywhere in the world. Do you know how much they've spent in the Middle East? $7 trillion US. $7 trillion US since 2001. It's a scam. It's a sham. Go those military contractors. Do you know how much they are paying them? How much is the salary of the U.S. military? How much is the salary of those people? Now they are using those people to subjugate the Iraqi and Afghans. Those people, they are not going to face any consequences of anything they do in the battlefield. They can go and massacre people, do things. Nothing will happen. They are not under the U.S. military. No one will bring the charges against them. No one. Military civilian contractor. What an Orwellian name. As if they killed an engineer. It's civilian defense contractor. They are killing Iraqis too. If they were doing it in your homeland, you would do the same thing too. Imagine people occupying your village and killing your people. You want to tell me you will leave those people? And for the Nigerians, if it sounds funny that Buhari will call IPOB terrorists, that's how funny it sounds when they call Hezbollah terrorists. They are fighting to keep their land from the Europeans that invaded them. Took their lands and named it Israel. There's nothing like Israel. It's a made-up name from a fictional book, and they stole people's land and named it Israel. Now they are using force to occupy it. Not only occupy, they are expanding. Go and check the map of Israel. When Israel was formed as a country, go and check the map of Israel now. They are the ones benefiting from this war. Because the people who set up Israel, the Rothschilds, Jacob Rothschild holds the document, the establishing document of the state of Israel. The Balfour Declaration, it sits in his shelf right now as I'm talking to you. Not even in Israel. He built the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. They are building, he built it single-handedly. And the same people own the US dollar is the Federal Reserve. There is not much of a government control over the US dollar. The same people, so you must use their dollar. Consider Israel as their garrison. Consider it as their garrison. Consider Israel as their garrison. A military post. The Israeli Defense Force. Do you know how they started? It was purely a terrorist organization. Irgun. I-R-G-U-N. Irgun terrorist organizations. They were the people that later became the Israeli Defense Force. Go and check. Go and figure. I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. If you can prove any single thing I said to be false, I will log off all social media. Yes. I'm that sure of what I'm saying. They themselves know it. Listen, in Turkey, you see how Istanbul Airport serves as a transit point to people going from America to Africa, from America to the Middle East, from Africa to America, Africa to Europe, Africa to Middle East, even to Asia. That is how the spies, the Western spies, this is how they congregate in Istanbul. You will see them everywhere. Only when you have eyes, you know how to spot them and you know the right places to go. In the libraries, you are every day, coffee shops, all these places, all these foreigners. You see patrolling everywhere, moving left and right. In movies, you see them. A Swede, a British, who has not been to Turkey before, will come to Turkey. Under 2 months, he or she will be speaking Turkish fluently. No, they've learned it before. When they come here, they pretend. So those of you Nigerians, when you see Western tourists, you are talking a nonsense about them. You think they are all tourists. You are saying it in Turkish. You don't know that most of them hear Turkish more than you. If you are mingling with them, you will know this is, and what they are saying behind closed doors is different from what they are telling people, what they are letting on the media and publicly. It's such a convoluted system. But we will unmask each and every one of their plans. It's not difficult to deconstruct. It's in the open. Deconstructing it is very, very easy. That's why someone like me, an ordinary person without no position of power, no position of authority, knows this and can tell you this story over and over again right out of the bed. So my people, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you soon, 2 p.m. Nigerian time. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed. See you on the flip side.